Hi, Dougie Fresh here, working on a 1981 GS850 GX, I believe. Anyway, it's got your standard electrical problems. The guys at GS Resources have been very good. Steve in Ohio rebuilt the carburetors, did a fine job. And also, Pos Player, he has given me some advice, as well as Steve, on some of this electrical business. I do have a manual, but as you know, they fall into a problem and then they don't want to keep the battery charged up right. So that's what I have. The bike is all ready to go, but I've had that issue. So hooking it up, as they say, to come off with your battery, your regulator rectifier. We'll just call it the regulator from now on, but that's supposed to be connected to the Red Loom wire, and it runs all through the bike, comes back, goes to the battery, and the excess volts are supposed to be around 14 or so in order to keep the battery charged, and this one is not doing that. So I don't know if there's a problem in this loom or wiring here, but anyway, just an experiment. One of the guys told me to do was, I took the regulator positive, connected it direct through a fuse. I got kind of a big fuse on here right now. I need to lessen that, but anyway, ran the wire direct to the battery positive, ran the regulator negative right here to a single point ground. The other wire on there goes up and catches the battery mount in order to ground the battery box. The other thing that I did do different on here too, according to them, was I ran a positive, that wire. Let me bring the camera over here. I don't know, hope I don't shake it too much, but the negative ground on this battery plate that hangs on the battery box, that ground right there for the solenoid, it goes around and connects direct to the battery. So anyway, as you can see, since I don't have it hooked up, you know, according to them right now, I was just kind of doing some experiments since it wasn't working. And I'm sure you electrical guys out there, Pulse Player and Steve and others that are more experts, could have this diagnosed. I could ship the bike to you, but I don't think I'll do that. I've been messing around with it, and you know, these bikes are great. This bike is wonderful. These are the original pipes, actually. Just show you a little overview of the bike. But I got to get one of these stickers for the other side, the double overhead cam. But you know, the bike's in pretty good shape. I redid it up all over the winter, and there's the carburetors that Steve rebuilt and polished. Good job. So anyway, back to this electrical system, because I want to ride this bike this year. So I disconnected from here, and right now I have 13 volts, a little under 13 volts, 12.85 at this wire coming back from the Red Loom. So anyway, I just left that hanging, and I've got my direct wire, and I'm gonna start it up here for you, and you can kind of see what the voltmeter's doing. So I'm gonna try and take this camera off of this. Hope this video doesn't get too long. Anyway, as you can see what I did for my last test drive, I went ahead and mounted my voltmeter there so I wouldn't get stuck on the road again with a dead battery. So anyway, kind of crude, but it works. So start her up here, and I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to have to set the camera down here for just a second. So here anyway, I'll show you real quick the battery before I get started. So I've got the regular positive lead coming off of that coil, I believe, or solenoid, wherever it goes. And you guys know I'm not an electrical guy. I can fix the mechanical crap, but this electrical stuff is a puzzle. And then there's the lead going to the positive direct from the regulator. And then I've got a couple grounds, the one grounding the battery plate. There's an extra ground here on the battery box that goes down, and that is grounding the regulator also. And then on the other ground is, of course, going down to the bottom of the back of the motor, which I redid that wiring and made sure that that connection was good. So this is how it's set up. I know it's not right, but I'll show you what the voltmeter is doing now with this. I'm going to set this camera down for just a second, guys. So it's at about 1285 resting, 1287. Turn the bike on, drops down to about 1235, I believe it stops at. Yeah, 1235, 1230, 1230, 1235. Anyway, starts right up. Running about 1235, even just idling right at 1100 where it should be. Touching up to 2000. Runs about 1245, 4000. Stays at 1260. So I'm going to go back and change a couple things and see if I can get this to do what I had to do in it before. So anyway, hey, kudos to all you GS guys out there, because these are great bikes, and I can't wait to ride this, only I want to make sure that it's definitely good to ride on. I won't get stuck on the road. Okay guys, so back again. Still don't have the wire hooked up to the positive regulator wire. Just got it direct to the battery through this fuse. Got my single point ground right here. And interesting, after that first part of that video, so I thought, all right, it wasn't charging right. What was the thing I did different here? Okay, battery's at 1289, 1290 like it usually is all the time. So I know the only thing I did different was I had this ground wire hanging off that I had going down to the single point ground. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put it back on. So there I put it back on, right? Okay, watch this. Sorry about that camera work, guys. Anyway, that's all I did different. I just reattached that ground wire, left it hanging out there in the open. At idle, it's doing right at 12.6. Try to get that glare from coming on you. Pick it up to 4,000. 12, 13, 57, 60, 13, 70. Take it up to 5,000. 14. charge correctly, and then it backed off. So now we're back down to 1233. There you can see idle speed. Take it up to 4,000. So you can see when I first started the bike, it wanted to charge up. So it's trying to charge up. It went right up over 14 volts. And all because I put that wire on there. And then after it was just a few seconds running at 5,000 RPM, then it falls back down to 12.6 or 12.8, whatever the video showed. So anyway, I say anyway a lot. Here we go, guys. Guys, I just wanted to come back and do just a short conclusion. So this is how I ran the bike all day yesterday out on the road without my voltmeter monitor because it appeared to be charging correctly when I had it on there. So I've got the positive wire off of the regulator here going around to a 15 amp fuse and directly up here and up to the battery positive. I've got the Red Loom wire just hanging loose right here and not doing anything. I haven't even taped it off yet. And then I've got the single point ground that has the regulator ground wire there, and also a battery box ground wire going up and hooking to one of the battery connection bolts. Everything else is pretty much the same. So then over here on the battery side, like I said, what I've got here is the one wire directly from the regulator. Got the regular starter solenoid wire there, I believe, or whatever the factory wire was there. And then on the negative side, got the ground going down to the plate that the solenoid and fuse box attaches to, like OEM, and then the other wire there that goes down behind the motor and grounds the motor and frame. And then I've got this ground wire that for some reason just hangs out in the wind. If I take it off, it doesn't charge right, but if I just leave it like this, I had it connected here, remember, didn't work. I just leave it hanging, it charges up. Anyway, if you know that mystery, I know that it is not wired correctly. I know that something says that this tells me something somewhere, and I'm not an electrical guy, so if you got any help or any ideas, those of you who are experts about these bikes on the electrical side, have at it. But anyway, take care.